Everyone is trying to finish first in the first state. With an Air Force base nearby, Dover knows all about speed. This track also knows about winning. A casino overlooks the racetrack, and what a monster of a track it is. A 1-mile concrete loop that terrorizes drivers around every single turn. Oh yes, the Monster Mile earns its name. Forget about Frankenstein or Dracula. This is the monster that gives NASCAR's top drivers nightmares. It is a triple header weekend, and the Camping World Truck Series is up first. Hello everyone, welcome to The Setup. I'm Krista Voda, and welcome to a wonderful race weekend. As we said, 3 series racing today. You spoke, speed, listen. For the first time, this race is live on a Friday afternoon. So what will we be in store for today? A lot of storylines. We know this track rewards first-time winners. Well, Cale Gale returns to his hometown to thank those who helped make him who he is today. Could this be his day at Dover? Well, Justin Lofton no longer looking for that first win because he scored it in our last race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ray Dunlap and Hermie Sadler will be covering all of the action from the pits today. Hermie, let's start with you. This track provides drivers with a monster-sized challenge.
Well, it really does, Krista. And one of the variables that teams will be faced with today is a new tire compound in construction from Goodyear. A couple different changes. Number one, a little bit of a harder compound tire. But a big change you'll see today, this is the left rear tire. This is a right rear tire for Ron Hornaday. Look at the difference in the size of the tire. That is stagger. But this tire combination has less stagger than in years past. What does that mean? The trucks will be tighter, maybe a little bit more secure. What is stagger exactly? Look at my red Solo Cup. This being a left rear, this being the right rear. The taller this cup is, it helps that truck turn through the center of the corner. So Goodyear brought a harder compound tire for more durability, but less stagger, and it's really got these trucks gripping this racetrack very good, and high speeds this weekend, Ray. We'll see what kind of effect this tire has on the victor.
And Hermie, we'll keep up with that tire story throughout the day, but we also have to watch out for first-time winners. How about this season? We've had 5 races and 3 drivers have gotten their first career win. But Dover is a track where it happens a lot. At this track, we've seen 5 guys go to victory lane for their first time. Now, at this track, we know it could happen, and there are 24 drivers in this field that have never won before. I think there's 7 or 8 of them that are very legitimate shots at getting their first career win today on the Monster Mile. Krista?
Thanks, Ray. Track position here certainly king. Kevin Harvick is on the pole. Oh, yes, Harvick is back to play with the Truck Series boys and girls, and he has never won on this track in any of the 3 series. Keeping with our numbers theme, let's look at our points. Joey Coulter moves up into the top 10. Some of the drivers who fall this week, Nelson Piquet Jr. and James Buescher. Timothy Peters also drops. Justin Lofton is now our series points leader. As we said, this track has rewarded first-time winners. Could it be Ty Dillon's turn? He's wearing the cowboy hat. He hopes to lasso in his first Truck Series win. The Setup is brought to you by Camping World and Good Sam. Everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, and roadside assistance. By AC Pro. Bring back the cold to your car's AC in 10 minutes or less with new AC Pro. And by Pep Boys. Pep Boys does everything for less. Call 1-800-PEP-BOYS. There have been 3 first-time winners this season, but right now it's Mother Nature who is starting to win. It's 74 degrees. There is a chance of storms in the area. You see the threatening clouds overhead. So far, everything is clear. This race will start. It will begin, and we will also be racing each other and the weather. And with all these first-time winners, it has to make guys like Jeb Burton excited. 5 drivers getting their first win here at this track. Could he be the next one on that list? Welcome back to Dover. Well, Justin Lofton is no longer on that list. As we said, he picked up his first Camping World Truck Series win in our last race, which was 2 weeks ago at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We have been following him through all of the practice sessions yesterday. He is now on our spotlight.
And Lofton is going to win at Charlotte. Lofton gets his first win in the Truck Series.
Fresh off his first win in Charlotte, Justin Lofton has been busy with the media. But now, back at it in Dover, Lofton needs to concentrate on getting his truck set up for the weekend.
$23.89 on the last one.
It's pretty damn good. It kind of gets light, get down into one.
I think these changes here should help that quite a bit. It should help your entry out a little bit, but still allow it to stay on the bottom and rotate.
That kind of loosened it up right there. I liked it more the way we unloaded.
Yeah, I think we're just going to basically go right back to where we unloaded here.
After getting the 6 truck to where they want it, Lofton heads over to the 33 to help teammate and rookie Cale Gale dial in his truck.
It's loose. Right rear really comes out of the racetrack. Feels pretty good getting in, just past center, just leaves the track. Cale, don't you feel like a little cramped in here?
Fits me pretty good.
I rode my steering wheel just a little farther away. You're working the wheel a lot more, so you'll work your arms more instead of your shoulders, and your reactions can be a little bit quicker.
In 4. I might look into that. Just go run us a few laps, feel her out. We'll run through these changes we were talking about.
That's your best 3 and 4 on those tires, but that thing looks good down here.
Where else? You think you think you need any help anywhere?
That was a bad change right there. That's all I have to say.
Happy with the truck, Lofton goes out for a mock qualifying run.
Coming to the white.
A 48 on the first lap and a 71 the second lap. Did an excellent job. That put us P1 right then. Good job, dude. Back where we should be.
A lot of confidence, walking into the track today. The first group of fans I saw, 4 girls dressed head to toe in lime green. Ashley said their favorite driver, Justin Lofton. In March, Cale Gale returned to his hometown of Mobile, Alabama. He didn't just race in the ARCA debut at the track that Rick Crawford owns. He won it, and he got to do it in front of the fans, the folks who helped raise him.
Growing up in Mobile was always a lot of fun. It was a great place to grow up. This is Baker High School, where I graduated in 2003. I definitely wasn't a bad student. I wouldn't say I was a great student either. This was my algebra teacher, and she taught me all kind of math that I use every day in racing now.
I loved Cale. Cale sat in my class, and he would say, Miss Knowles, I'm not going to ever use this math. I don't need to do that math. And I'd say, but Cale, you just don't know what the future holds, and I don't want you to get down the road and not be prepared.
What y'all learning? Y'all taking a test?
Taking a test.
Oh, we come in on a test. We got to go. We're at Bob's Speed Shop. This is where I used to come to get all my speed parts when I was racing in Mobile. I can remember Bob when I was probably 3 or 4 years old. He was at the races.
He started off coming in, tagging along behind his daddy, and he's become a whale of a race car driver. And I am so proud to know him. Don't get the big head.
Hey, good. How are you? My goodness gracious.
It's been a long time.
It has.
So this is Miss Beverly Smith. Her husband, Bill Smith, and Miss Beverly, they were one of our sponsors for years down at Mobile International. They sponsored my dad and sponsored me when I was coming up, and was a major impact on my career and what's happened in my life.
We started planning this, and trying to get him in the right places and seeing the right people, so it's a dream come true.
This is my old shop. This is my dad's shop, and where we raced out of growing up. This was my shock room right here. It's a glass beading room, but this is where I learned how to build shocks. Larry, I got a lot of memories around here. We spent a lot of time in this shop. I'd probably say out of the, for about 3 or 4 years, I probably spent 75% of my life in here. This is where my racing career begun. I was a kid running around in these stands watching my dad race, so to come back and have this big billboard and to do what I do in my career now is a dream come true, and anybody that's ever helped me the least little bit has helped me get to where I'm at today. And when you come back and have a chance to say thank you and you really appreciate their help, and to be able to do that's really neat.
Cale Gale with a great starting position. He will roll off 5th. We have had 12 different truck races here, 11 different winners. Who will it be today? This track loves first-time winners. Welcome back to Dover International Speedway. I am not just wearing this hat because of the weather. This is a Dick Berggren special. The last weekend on NASCAR on Fox for Dick Berggren. You can bet he is watching this race right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise and remain standing. Today's colors presentation of the colors is by Delaware National Guard Honor Guard. And for today's invocation, I present to you Reverend Jake McCready, Grace Point Church of God in Smyrna, Delaware.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you today for your love, your mercy, and your grace. We just ask for your hand of protection over these drivers, their crews, the staffs, and these spectators. And may your name be glorified at every turn. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And remain standing as I present to you Eva Catherine, 13-year-old from Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, in the home of the brave?
Eva Catherine.
Today it's all about the trucks. They are NASCAR's roughest riders, and in a few moments they must tackle tracks. It's time to head to the Monster Ball. We go dancing next with the boys. The Lucas Oil 200 on Speed starts now.
Last week, the Camping World Truck Series stormed through Charlotte.
Lofton gets his first win in the Truck Series.
And the wins carry Justin Lofton to the top of the championship standings. With the series points battle heating up, the Storm will now plow into Dover, Delaware. A track so familiar with devastation, it can only be described as white lightning. Like the octagon is to a cage fighter, it'll be the ultimate arena. Except when these warriors face off, steel will grind against steel, and these concrete confines will show no mercy. Patience and integrity will be chewed up and spit out.
Talking a little bit about what happened.
Neither rookie nor veteran will find sanctuary or shelter on this Monster Mile. For most, destiny will be devoured from the monster within. The compelling coverage of the Lucas Oil 200 for the Camping World Truck Series is coming up. It'll be the perfect recipe for an epic battle. It will be the perfect storm.
And the words perfect storm come up just as we see the ominous clouds coming from the south and the west. Getting ready for the Lucas Oil 200 presented by AC Pro here on Speed. Hello, everyone. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip with you. We talk about this racetrack, the Monster Mile. Is it that scary?
Did you see the destruction that was in that highlight reel we just ran? Those are real crashes. These trucks are running 170 miles an hour when they dive down in the corner. If something goes wrong, it happens in a hurry. A lot of times, if you don't know what's going to hurt you, you don't really worry about it. But at this place, you get here worried about it.
Watch qualifying here. These are a couple trucks. We had 3 trucks that were all over this racetrack here. And it will take the veterans as well as the rookies. Nobody is exempt from this monster.
And that's exactly what we saw earlier today in qualifying, where the young guys got a little bit loose there. But it doesn't mean that a young guy can't win here, does it?
5 times we've had a first-time winner right here at this racetrack.
And we are about to get the engines fired. The gentlemen are all strapped into their trucks. Let's fire the engines. Here's the command.
Race fans, here to give today's command is the president of Heritage One Incorporated, Mr. Tony Celebre.
Drivers, start your engines.
There could be 2 races today. One on the racetrack, the other one racing against potential stormy weather here in the Dover area. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by AC Pro. Bring back the cold to your car's AC in 10 minutes or less with new AC Pro. Brought to you in part by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. And by Camping World and Good Sam. Everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, and roadside assistance. Trucks are rolling around the racetrack and off of Pit Road. We take a look at our starting lineup. The front row, a veteran and guy who's got a couple of years experience here in the trucks, Kevin Harvick, Joey Coulter. Now, Kevin Harvick has never won at Dover, not in a truck, not in the Nationwide Series, and not in the Cup Series.
That's just amazing. I cannot believe that.
And right behind him, Ron Hornaday. He's won about everywhere and anything. He's a great truck racer alongside Johnny Sauter, looking to get his season turned around, Phil.
Oh, there's Cale Gale and Ty Dillon back in row number 3. Ty Dillon doing double duty this weekend. We'll also run the Nationwide race tomorrow.
Jeb Burton, always fun to watch. And Timothy Peters, solid start to the 2012 season.
Miguel Paludo and Matt Crafton. Miguel Paludo, one of those drivers still looking for his first win in the Camping World Truck Series.
Parker Kligerman got a runner-up finish in the Camping World Truck Series. Not a win yet. He's also doing double duty running tomorrow as well.
Todd Bodine trying to scrape together a competitive season. They've felt like they've been lucky to be here, and he's run very competitively, especially as of late.
Row 8, we saw 2 drivers that have been able to garner their first Truck Series win this season. They're hoping to continue that luck, and Justin Lofton again is our point leader as we're getting ready for the 6th race of the 2012 season.
See former track record holder David Starr starts back in row number 12.
You say former because that went down this morning.
Went down this morning for Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick, a new track record here at Dover. That just shows you the kind of speed. The temperature, the conditions are perfect for fast speeds all 200 miles.
Looking back through the field, Chris Fontaine, Caleb Pullman, Wes Burton, Johnny Chapman. You see the track all rubbered up. We've had a lot of activity on the racetrack, not only with yesterday, but also today. So a lot of traction still, a lot of grip on this racetrack. We're going to ride along with a few different drivers. Phil?
Why don't we ride along with our most recent winner and first-time winner, Justin Lofton, in the CollegeComplete.com Chevy. He will start from the 16th spot.
Let's hop on board with Jeb Burton. He's starting from the 7th spot. This is his 4th career race, and so far, one word to describe those 4 races: thrilling from this seat.
We'll also ride along with the number 3 truck of Ty Dillon, the Bass Pro Shop Chevy. Ty has finished in the top 10, all but his very first career start here in the Camping World Truck Series, and he will start from 6th today.
This is a cat we checked out leading up to the race. Cale Gale rolls off 5th in that Ream Chevy. A big win in Mobile earlier this year. Great start for Cale.
Take a look at our Camping World track description of Miles the Monster.
A mile long, and that's why they call him Miles. It's not because that name's very intimidating, but that's where that comes from. And Phil, at the top of the show, Rick asked us, could a young guy win? I think the way to describe this track is expect the unexpected. These banks are so high, the straightaways are so short, considering how fast they're going. Just a lot of action here at Dover.
Let's take a look at our World Purple Synthetic Coil race analysis. You see our pit window probably 75 to 85 laps, something like that. But remember, the threat of weather in the area may have these guys rethinking that a little bit.
And these crew chiefs are concerned about this tire, not because it's going to wear out. They think it can go for a long, long time. So that'll play into how they run this race. That could help them when it comes to trying to figure out this weather, being able to stay out on those older tires.
Hard left turn being made by Randy Kaiser driving that pace car. He brings it on to pit road, putting the field into the hands of the 2 truck of Kevin Harvick. Joey Coulter to his inside. Two teammates from RCR bringing the field with a green flag. It goes in the air. We're underway from Dover.
Looked like Kevin was out of shape a little bit. I don't know if he got a bump from behind from Johnny Sauter, but Johnny jumps up into the second spot.
Both those front row trucks wiggled as they took off. Maybe spun their tires, and the second row was ready. Evident by Sauter grabbing that second spot. Got into turn 1.
Kevin Harvick working his way through 3 and 4. A little side-by-side battle back behind him for the 4th spot.
We talk about this racetrack, Rick, right there in the center of the corner. A lot of times we see guys get in trouble at the exit of the corner. It really starts back in the center of the corner. They may get in the throttle, start losing the front end, and they pay for it at the exit of the corner.
See the 9 of Ron Hornaday on the inside of that 17 of Timothy Peters. Timothy Peters falls back behind the 9, so top 5 rounded out with Ron Hornaday now. Harvick, Sauter, Ty Dillon, Joey Coulter, and Ron Hornaday your top 5. Now you got Matt Crafton working to the inside of Cale Gale in the 33.
I love that shot we had just a moment ago, looking back towards turn number 4 at how many trucks we saw wiggling up off turn number 4 right up next to the wall.
We're going to see that all day long. It just gets worse as they go along. The speeds stay really fast, and so these guys are on the edge of control because this is just a really fast track, and these guys are right on the edge of control every lap.
Over 150 miles an hour is the average. And remember, you're turning.
It's got to be, what, 170, 75 miles an hour at the end of the straightaway.
I think that's exactly what it is.
On a 1-mile racetrack, though.
Side by side still for position. Cale Gale on the outside. That groove is working for him. Matt Crafton on the inside.
We didn't see very many trucks venture up off the bottom of the racetrack in qualifying, certainly, as well as practice yesterday. But as we see all this blackness on the racetrack as the groove widens out, these guys are going to be searching for a little bit more grip. Right now, Cale's making that outside work pretty well.
Truck Series has an impound rule. After qualifying, they're impounded, not able to make major adjustments. In qualifying, we saw that 88 of Matt Crafton hitting the racetrack, and sparks were flying just moments ago. I saw some sparks again out of that 88, so probably waiting for the tire pressures to come back up on it as the start of this race just 6 laps in. We're on lap 7.
And that's very disconcerting for a driver, too. If that racetrack, if you go in a corner and that truck bottoms out, hits that splitter, it will shoot that truck up the hill.
Kevin Harvick, last lap speed over 152 miles per hour.
Already opened up over a 2-second lead. There you see the lead right there. A half a straightaway already over Johnny Sauter.
And a lot of people down in the garage area saw this coming after practice yesterday. All you could hear the crew chiefs talk about down there was, wow, what are we going to do about Kevin Harvick? Kevin put an exclamation point on that just inside the first 10 laps here.
He won practice, the combined practices, and he also obviously sat on the pole, so he's looking to make it a clean sweep here this weekend.
Trying to make a clean sweep out of Fast Friday on speed.
Which is pretty appropriate for his sponsor.
Definitely. Tied on the hood of that race car.
We'll even watch the track for that stuff if need be.
We did it in Daytona, didn't we?
Harvick, Sauter, Ty Dillon, Joey Coulter, Ron Hornaday, your top 5. Peters, Crafton, Gale, Chastain, and Jeb Burton, your top 10. First caution has come out. It is for an expired engine. Jason White walking back to the ambulance. He'll hop in there and make a ride to the infield care center, but you see the smoke rolling out of that truck as he entered turn 1.
Wow.
And flames.
Pretty big blow up there for Jay White.
That is. We heard his crew chief come on the radio and said it's not an oil line. It really blew up, didn't it? And it really did blow up really big. Jason was so confident. Top 5 finish here last year, right? I know he's had some solid runs here at Dover and thought he was going to come here and have something for him today.
His career best at this racetrack, 4th back in 2009, but had to climb out of that race truck early in this one. Only 13 laps complete early on in this, but the first lap may have been the most intense.
Look at there, contact. Justin Lofton gets into the back of Max Gresham a little bit, tries to pull it off of him. And meanwhile, Kligerman's down on the bottom digging on his left side. What action that was.
It's a good thing that Justin Lofton backed off a little bit while he was trying to catch his truck, because he was headed back towards that left rear quarter panel of Max Gresham to turn him around.
He wasn't any longer going to be the point leader if he kept that pass up.
Justin Lofton trying to bring that momentum from our last win to Dover. Tonight on Speed, NASCAR Trackside parties with Miles the Monster. You can see Cup Series superstar Denny Hamlin join the crew. You don't want to miss NASCAR Trackside from Dover tonight, 7:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
Denny sure is racing a pretty Cup car here this weekend.
It is, really is.
Painted with Autism Speaks livery on it. We all played golf yesterday for Artie Kempner and his Autism Speaks tournament, and raised so much money over the years. It's so much fun to be a part of that event.
It is, and they do such a great job here at this racetrack. FedEx allowing the title sponsor for the Cup race to be autism, and it's just amazing. And so many people are touched by autism. We heard yesterday that 1 out of every 88 children born now is afflicted somewhere on the autism spectrum.
Take a look at the initial start of this race.
Johnny was ready, wasn't he?
I thought there might have been a little contact there the way Kevin's truck jumped around, but as you mentioned, the front row had just a little bit of trouble getting going, and Johnny was on it.
Hermie Sadler.
Well, Rick, you looked at that restart, the initial start of the race. Ron Hornaday made a comment that the 22 of Joey Coulter was a little bit slow getting going on the start. Hornaday will start inside of row 3 on this next restart. He's already started talking about an aero push, telling crew chief Jeff Hensley his truck is good when he's by himself, but the closer he got to the 22 on the racetrack, he picked up an aero push. So they're hoping for a better start and get a little bit better track position after this restart.
And that's one of the reasons that you have to look around for some other racetrack. If he's getting an aero push when he's right behind the 22, then maybe move up the racetrack to get some air pushing that nose down.
Jay White checked and released from the infield care center, right along with Ty Dillon in his Bass Pro Shops number 3. Next time by, they'll be seeing the green flag. We're starting to see some blue skies in the direction of where it didn't look good earlier on the radar.
I was looking on my Sprint phone, and looked like the rain was right upon us, and it broke up. It went from green to light blue, about to disappear altogether. So maybe we got 200 miles ahead of us. I hope so.
I hope so too. At least 182 more.
17 in the books. Again, the weather 74 degrees. Very similar to when they were qualifying this morning. It was about 72 at qualifying time.
Nothing's really changed much since then.
Joey
Harvick set a track record, and they threw the green flag, and it looked like he kept on qualifying after that. He drove off to a huge lead.
This time it'll be Johnny Sauter to his inside. Johnny Sauter giving him that little bit of shove on the initial start of this race. We'll see if Johnny Sauter has a little better restart this time than Kevin Harvick and beat him into turn number 1.
And he had a great start on the initial start, was pushing Kevin Harvick.
Field 2 by 2 coming out of turn 4. Harvick on the gas early when the green flag flies. We're back underway.
And Kevin wanted to make sure he cleared Johnny before they got to turn number 1.
Blaney jumped the start.
They got a black flag him?
Coming out of turn number 4, the leader of the race dictates the start, but he has to start in the starting zone. And we're thinking that Johnny Sauter was the one who was saying he jumped the start.
I think that was Johnny Sauter's spotter.
Yeah.
That was saying that maybe Kevin jumped the start.
That was a little politicking for a black flag.
A little bit. 2 wide once again.
Teammates James Busher, the 31 on the inside, Miguel Paludo, 32. There's Miguel Paludo, the Duraline Chevrolet on the outside.
It doesn't sound like Justin Lofton ever came all the way out of the gas. He just kept working the throttle as he got his way down into turn 3. Was able to pull almost beside Paludo on the exit, but had to fall back in line.
Did you see Busher's truck dancing around there in the back end?
Johnny Sauter and Joey Coulter running 2 and 3, and already a second lead by Kevin Harvick.
I think Kevin wants to change that stat you've been talking about him never winning here at this racetrack in any one of the NASCAR divisions.
He may be taking it personally.
He listens too.
Yeah, well, we know he listens. And he might have that itchy beard. He's trying to hurry up and get to the end so that he can scratch. Johnny Sauter, Joey Coulter, second and third. Battle for second continuing.
Coulter's got a better truck right now than Sauter, but you talk about that aero push. That was a pretty good picture of what it's like when you lose the nose of your truck. He got a real good run on Sauter in the center of the corner, but on the way off, the front end just wouldn't hold anymore, and Coulter slid up the hill and had to back out of the gas and lost a couple of truck lengths to Sauter.
Joey's looking to try to better his career best. He's been 5th 5 different times, very consistently up in the top 10, looking to break through with a top 3 finish maybe.
Justin Lofton's finally made his way to the inside of Miguel Paludo. We saw him trying to do that last time we checked in on him. He wasn't quite able to do it, but this time it's like he's going to make the move.
Because Brian Scott, the 18 truck of Kyle Busch Motorsports, he's going to jump to the inside of Paludo.
Very confident about his truck in this race.
Caution's out, turn 2. You're clear out the back.
That's the 09 of John West Townley. Slow through turn number 2.
Chris, we spun there off 2. Come on, get caught up here, John. Nice and easy. We're down a tire.
Here, John says, you see the left front tire is flat on that 09 Toyota.
Might be best to get to pit road before that tire flies apart and does more damage to his truck. Looks like he escaped that spin.
Which is pretty tough to do here at Dover.
Yes, this place is, as we always say, self-cleaning. It's banked so much, everything slides to the bottom, so he's able to stay out of the wall. That's a pretty good break.
A few people running toward the back came onto pit road the last time the caution flag was out. Now that we've got 24 laps, will be 25 laps in the books, will we see anyone coming in early in this race?
Tires are really good.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they want to give up track position this early. If there was really a serious threat of rain, then I think guys may say, okay, let me get a little bit of fuel here so I can go that much farther when we get towards halfway. But I don't think so. I don't think the truck's way up front. We're going to see him from
Justin
about what?
Lofton just came in.
12th, 15th back.
Yeah. That's a great move if you don't have the track position, if you don't have a truck up the front right now. Let's do what the others don't. That's sort of the rule some of the guys go by. If the leaders all stay out, let's pit, and vice versa. They might have stayed out and had all the other guys pitted. You got to mix it up to get some track position. Ray, what are they saying down there with the 6?
Well, they actually had called Kevin Harvick to come in. Ernie Cope, his crew chief, said do it, but the 6 decided they were going to come in and get fuel here and make just a little adjustment. Also see David Starr in right in front of him there, making a wedge adjustment. So a couple of different trucks deciding to do the opposite of what the leader did. Hermie?
Well, Ray, similar story for Nelson Piquet Jr. on my end of pit road. He came in, 4 tires fuel, fighting a little bit of a tight condition in the center of the corner, so they made an air pressure adjustment and got Piquet back on the racetrack.
You know what, the tire wear that these guys are getting, the good tire wear, is what has allowed these teams to have is an extra set of tires in the pits. They gave them 5.5 sets of tires for the whole weekend. After practice, they had to turn 1 set of tires in. That left 4.5. Well, most of the guys will have 3.5 sets of tires in the pits as well as the 1 set that's on the truck. So that's typically about a set more than they normally have.
And a half the set you're talking about, they give the teams an extra right side set of tires in case they want to get 2 tires somewhere during the course of the race. So NASCAR has arrived at the 5.5 sets of tires through history. They understand how much the tires wear here, what kind of caution flags you have, and what these teams need to safely be able to compete for the whole weekend at the most affordable price. And that's why they have a tire rule in the Truck Series. And I love that rule. Makes the crew chief have to use his brain on when am I going to get my tires, how many of them am I going to use. The strategy starts when they get here for practice.
And for example, 5.5 sets for the trucks. The Cup cars are allowed 5 sets just for the practice and qualifying they do. The 2 practices today as well as qualifying tomorrow, they use 5 sets for that.
And the trucks use
5.5 for the whole weekend.
Sounds like a much more economical way to go about it.
It does.
The truck race is half as long as the Cup race, so might make sense they need twice as many sets of tires.
Fiscally sound. We're getting 2x2 once again on the outside. It's Kevin Harvick. He's chosen the outside line every time.
Yeah.
Good choice?
Yeah, heck yeah, it's worked perfect.
Yeah.
Johnny Sauter on the inside. We've seen Kevin Harvick run away from the field both times we have started this race.
Johnny complained about Kevin leaving a little early. Let's see if we can see how this works out this time.
Look for the red line on the outside wall. That's Kevin's signal. He has to be in that zone before he goes. Look left of your screen.
And we won't be able to see it.
We'll be able to see it. There it is. There you see it.
Yep.
But he started later at that time than he did the time before, so there'll be no complaints from Johnny Sauter this time.
You're not complaining about the truck being fast, though.
Side by side for third. Great restart that time. On the outside, the 17 of Timothy Peters.
Oh, we got a spin.
Sliding sideways through 3 and 4. Jeb Burton involved in this. Cale Gale involved.
Oh, and there's Brian Scott also.
Brian Scott in the 18 trying to stop before he gets to that inside wall.
It looked like Cale Gale got sideways. I'm not sure if there was any contact that precipitated that, but I believe the first thing I saw was Cale sideways.
I believe if we go inside of Jeb Burton's truck, we're going to see maybe those two arguing a little bit over space. They were really close together, got into the back of the, Jeb got into the back possibly of Cale Gale's truck. We'll have to see it again. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye.
A lot of damage to Jeb Burton's truck.
Did such a great job over at Charlotte, racing really hard, but being able to keep his truck pointed in the right direction.
There's just a little bit of a nudge right there. That's just enough to turn that 33 truck sideways.
I don't want to nudge at 170. Do you, Phil?
Me either, especially entering the corner there. You're most vulnerable. Parker Kligerman got a little bit of a piece of that. Here's Max Gresham running into Brian Scott.
And now we're seeing the field make its way onto pit road. Hermie.
Well, as they come down pit road, we're waiting for Jeb Burton to bring his truck in to see what kind of damage he's got. But Ryan Hornaday has been fighting a tight condition. The biggest problem for him has been the restarts. He actually started on the outside the last restart, got a good start and settled in, but it'll be air pressure adjustment for Hornaday. Ray?
Down to my end, lots of activity. Kevin Harvick said, let's just do a 2-tire stop. They go with rights only on that Tide Chevrolet. Johnny Sauter also in. He'll be the second one off pit road, followed by the 17.
Top three held their spots that they had coming onto pit road.
Here's where that half set of tires came in. Kevin Harvick had that extra right side set of tires. That's what they decided to do on this pit stop.
27 of Jeb Burton and the 33 of Cale Gale involved in this one. Third caution is out on the racetrack. Here are the drivers that were involved in this caution. Again, Brian Scott getting collected after Max Gresham got into him. Jeb Burton and Parker Kligerman in that 29 take another look.
Jeb just slid up the track when they hit turn 3, couldn't hold his line down on the bottom. Cale Gale got run into, and you can see Parker Kligerman doing a nice job of almost getting around Jeb. Check it out from the in truck.
Still there, 29 trying. All right, you clear there. It's 33 a little bit.
You can see
Go inside, you're even.
Cale Gale gives Jeb
there.
plenty of room, doesn't crowd him.
At the bumper, hold on.
Wow, did you see Max Gresham come flying
Good
up in
job,
there?
bud. Just keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming.
Great job by Cale Gale right there. There's another.
Certainly was. And watch Brian Scott. He's doing a great job, too, and gets run into by Gresham, who didn't get slowed down in time. But, Phil, in Max's defense, you can't see when you come down into the third corner. He couldn't see what was going on up ahead of him, and he just didn't get it slowed down soon enough.
In that instance, it's a lot like Bristol. You can't really see that far in front of you because the bank is so high and you're turning so much. The radius is so great.
So Jeb Burton brings the 27 back to the attention of his crew. The 18 of Brian Scott too fast exiting pit road, so he'll have to serve a penalty.
Brian was probably trying to stay on the same lap, trying to beat the pace car to the end of pit road.
Yeah, they had to make some repairs to the left side of that truck, so not really that big of a penalty. Just keeping her on the lead lap, and not a lot of damage. I believe he can still contend.
Yeah, I think so. The guys did a nice job doing the repairs. Eric Phillips and his guys.
We've seen Jason Leffler behind the wheel of that car for most of 2012.
Jason will be in that truck. Some more Brian Scott. This is his first of 5 races in that 18 truck.
Now out in front of the field, staying out under this caution, the 6 of Justin Lofton. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway.
What did we say? Do what the leaders don't? We saw Lofton pit when Kevin Harvick stayed out and the rest of the guys, and this time when they all pitted, he stayed out. He got all important track position.
And that was only 4 laps before Kevin Harvick and the rest of the bunch pitted.
Great restart also for the 31 of James Busher. He's tucked into second now. David Starr back there in third, and here comes Harvick running fourth.
Kevin Harvick is coming.
Not for long, running fourth. Battles
that's PK in that 30 truck.
Yeah, PK lost the fourth position. Harvick now up to third. Lofton and Busher just in front of him.
Look at that pack of trucks scramble off that second corner. That doesn't look like a roller coaster ride. Nothing does. They're up and down and jumping sideways.
And our viewers can see the bridges over this racetrack. There's a crossover bridge exiting turn number 2 that you can walk across while they're on the racetrack, and that is an unbelievable sight and feeling when you walk across that bridge when these trucks or Cup cars or Nationwide cars are on the racetrack.
I posted a really cool picture on my Twitter today of one of the cars coming off turn 2 there. It's just such a great view that you don't get anywhere else. You stand at Dover and watch these cars and trucks run up under you. It's so fun.
The sensation of speed is so much more prevalent here because you are right literally on top of the race cars.
It looks like they're running 300 miles an hour there.
Those are the bridges we're talking about. This one in 3 closest to us, and the one in 2.
That's actually a suite.
Yeah.
In turn 3.
Are the seats on a swivel so you can watch them come at you and then go away from you?
They need to be.
Lap 37 of 200. Still out front. Justin Lofton. James Busher runs second. Kevin Harvick is third. Pit strategy has Lofton and Busher up front. And now Busher has a mirror full of the 2 of Kevin Harvick.
Remember, 2 tires for Kevin Harvick. It may take just a little bit for the air pressures to come up on those right side tires because we know they're already up on the left side tires.
But he's going to make the move to the inside.
Harvick up to second now.
And I love the way that James Busher went down to the corner, moved up the racetrack, gave Kevin some room, so he lost minimal time allowing Kevin Harvick to get by him.
And it's inevitable. Kevin Harvick's going to pass him. And here we are just 30-some laps into this race. You can't mess around right now. You've got to focus on your race. And James Busher's race is to lose as little time versus that leader as he possibly can. And letting Harvick around and staying in touch with Lofton, that's just a smart move by that young man.
Ryan Scott in the 18, again involved in the most recent caution. He's running 22nd right now. Just went by the 29 of Kligerman.
He's moved up the racetrack. You saw Brian go by the 99 of Brian Silas on the high side. So that top groove is definitely working. Justin Laughlin's opened up about a second-half lead now over Kevin Harvick. Now that Kevin has some clean racetrack after getting by James Busher, we'll see how much he may be able to gain on Laughlin.
0.2 of a second. That last lap, it was 1.4. It went to 1.2. But now with, as you mentioned, no trucks in between the top 2. We'll see how that gap lessens. On the inside, Ty Dillon. On the outside, Johnny Sauter. Those 2 racing for position. That's for the 6th spot. Dillon has it now. Sauter gave it up.
Ty was able to make that pass on Johnny Sauter. And Miguel Paludo, Joey Coulter right behind them in 8th and 9th.
Norm Benning getting out of the way, letting Dillon and Sauter by the outside. Here comes Paludo, Coulter.
Todd Bodine trails right behind Joey Coulter. Todd told me this morning that he had a great truck and race trim. Said he really thought he had one of the best trucks. Qualified back into 13th spot now. He's moving up the racetrack, trying to find him some grip.
You talk about the clean air field, and that's what Todd's doing. He's a veteran. He knows that you can't run where they are, so high one in and give him the momentum he needed to get to the inside. And
whoa, and he got loose.
Very close. Todd Bodine checking up there so he doesn't get into the 22 of Joey Coulter. That allows the 9 of Ron Hornaday to move to the inside. Those 2 are battling for the 11th spot. Since the initial drop of the green flag, a lot of people have been holding their breath here at Miles the Monster. Stay with us. More from Dover. Welcome back. It's the Lucas Oil 200 presented by AC Pro. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series 6th race of the season. Look at the gap now between 1 and 2. The 6 of Justin Lofton out in front. Kevin Harvick in the 2 running second. It is only 0.3 of a second that separate the top 2. Let's go trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Oh, Rick, real quick, I wanted to update that College Complete Chevy. Justin Lofton saying his truck is really, really good on entry to the corner. Just a little bit tight coming off. But realize when they pitted, they actually did a 4-tire stop. And you guys were right about a 5-lap differential. They pitted on 25. Harvick and them came on 29. But keep in mind, Harvick took right sides only. Lofton got 4 tires. He's real happy with his truck.
Well, action's fixing to pick up for them, Ray. They've caught the tail end of the field, starting to lap some of the slower trucks. Now they're getting into some trucks that are really fast. So it'll be interesting to see how the rookie, the young guy, Lofton, is able to work his way through this tough traffic and what Harvick's able to do. Nice move there around the outside of Jennifer Jo Cobb and then on the inside of JWT. So looks like Lofton's got this deal figured out pretty good.
Lofton had about a second-half lead. Kevin Harvick was able to close that gap up while he got through traffic. Kevin, with a lot of experience at this racetrack, doing a nice job getting through the traffic.
Already 25% of the race in the books. A 200-lap race and 54 laps in the books. 55 is what we're on now. Here we go for the lead. Kevin Harvick moves to the inside. He takes the spot away from Lofton.
You can see Lofton lost his momentum. He got hung behind Cale Gale, couldn't keep the momentum wound up, and Harvick just dove to the bottom.
Kevin makes his way by the 33 of Cale Gale. Remember, Cale involved in that spin a little while ago. Now Justin's going to make the move to the inside.
On the drop the green flag initially, Kevin Harvick checked out on the field. Caution came out. Field came back together. Then Kevin checked back out on the field. But when the pit strategy was
trying to get that lucky dog. Got to get by that 5.
That's crew chief Jerry Baxter telling Cale Gale that Paulie Haraka is the guy he's got to go get the Aaron's lucky dog. Oh, little contact there.
That's Paulie in that 5 truck right in front of Cale Gale. Justin Lofton makes his way by Paulie.
I've had Jerry Baxter yelled at me a few times over the years. Come on now, go get us a lucky dog.
Kevin Harvick just putting the 70 of Agnew a lap down. So that makes it 17 trucks on the lead lap. David Starr in the 81 currently running in the 17th position.
You know, Phil, you've struggled like in a truck like where you can't quite get it to do what you want, and you've been in a car like we see Kevin Harvick in right now, and at Dover it just magnifies how bad or how good your truck is. It seems to me these banks are so steep and there's so much grip. If you got a good truck, you can just hot rod that thing, drive the heck out of it and haul. But when your truck's a little bit off, oh, it's so frustrating because you can't hold on to it.
I remember restarting this race one time, a Busch race in second, and my car was just a little bit loose, and I dropped all the way back just about to 25th. Then as the air pressures built up, the car tightened back up, and I drove right back up to where I was before.
James Buescher in that 31, currently running in the 3rd spot. Hermie.
Yeah, Rick, the 31 is another truck that took advantage of pitting on lap 25. He came in, he got 4 tires, gained a lot of track position. He qualified 15th, had not made a lot of progress until he gained this track position. Now his truck is still a little bit on the tight side, so they don't have it exactly right. But up in 3rd place right now with a little bit of clean air is really helping James Buescher right now.
Thanks, Hermie. Again, Buescher running in that 3rd spot after starting 15th. Lofton running 2nd after starting this race in 16th. See Buescher working by the slower lap traffic. Paulie Haraka in the 5. He was one of the drivers we highlighted earlier during qualifying who was sideways in his qualifying effort.
He's been pretty straight, this guy.
Yeah. And fast.
To the front, Kevin Harvick leading once again at Dover International Speedway. Welcome back. The 11 spins. We see the right rear flat on that truck, and that brings out a caution once again. So Todd Bodine running in the 10th spot.
Blue right rear, you don't see that very often. Or you don't? Do they have blue once he spun?
I think after he spun, yeah. he was sideways. We looked up coming off turn 4. See if we can take a look at it. You see him gets a little bit loose through the center of the corner. I think that
Yeah, it's got air in it there, doesn't it?
Yeah, the tire was up, and watch, it's going to blow.
Yep.
Right there.
We saw John West Townley struggling down in the other end of the track on the very same lap, and then Todd spins out in turn 4. You don't see Todd just spin out very often.
Not very often. He does a great job keeping that truck out of the wall.
Now, since these drivers came onto pit road, it's been about 40 laps. Remember, they came in on lap 29, so you would think, okay, you're halfway through a fuel run, you'd come onto pit road.
I got to pit for fuel anyway. I got to come for fuel.
But haven't you looked at the radar lately?
Yes, and that's why I'm coming, because I got to have enough gas to get past that. It's going to go past halfway, and the radar is closing in. The weather is coming for sure, but I want to be sure I've got enough gas to run to when it rains.
We say the weather's coming for sure. We have noticed that the clouds have gotten a little thicker, a little darker overhead. As we've taken a look at the radar, it's looking like the rain is heading right at us. So the trucks are making their way onto pit road. Harvick leading the field once again. Let's go to Hermie Sadler.
James Busher is back on pit road. He took 2 tires last stop. He will take 4 tires this time. The last 4 or 5 laps, his truck had actually gone to the loose side, so it's an air pressure adjustment for James Busher. Ray?
With Justin Lofton, it gives them an option to do 2 if they wanted to, but they think that Harvick will go with 4, so to stay in the game, they're going to do the same thing. Here on lap 69, they'll go 4 tires, no adjustments for the College Complete Chevy. He is down and away. For Kevin Harvick, he said his truck is just a little bit tight on late exit. They made an air pressure adjustment on the right side. It's going to be close, but Harvick will get off pit road first, right ahead of the 6.
I like the strategy. Put 4 tires on now. We just completed 70 laps. We know we can go about 80. We can get to at least lap 150 if weather comes.
Making up 6 spots, the 32 of Miguel Paludo, the big mover under this most recent caution. Coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by AC Pro. Your car's AC blowing hot air? Get AC Pro, the 10-minute cold air solution. Brought to you in part by AutoStop. New AutoStop is foolproof. Gray is over. By Ford, go further. And by Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. Welcome back under our 4th caution. We have had 18 caution laps. And Kevin Harvick once again out in front after this most recent stop on pit road. He was able to beat the 6 off of pit road, so they will start 1 and 2. Harvick on the outside, Lofton on the inside. Teammates just behind him in row number 2. Green flag back in the air.
Lofton keeps his nose in there. He has the inside line. Kevin Harvick trying to wrestle that lead away from the outside.
Use that momentum on the high side to clear Lofton as they head down the back.
Side by side for 4th. Johnny Sauter on the inside. Paludo on the outside.
We saw Miguel Paludo pick up 6 spots. Ooh, truck in the outside wall.
Brian Scott, it looks like,
They
got sideways.
wide.
That was a near miss.
It's like, ooh, contact up there. Ty Dillon gets in the back of the 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr. Nice save by Nelson Piquet.
Parker Kligerman just to the bottom of the racetrack. Ty Dillon in front of this group. 3 wide coming out of turn number 4.
Holy cow, they know the rain's coming, don't they, Phil? These guys driving like it's the last lap.
Boy, Johnny drove it hard down in that corner, wanted to make sure he cleared the truck on the inside and the outside.
Down the back stretch they go. Harvick still out front. He's got a 7/10 second lead over Justin Lofton. James Busher running 3rd. Johnny Sauter, Miguel Paludo, your top 5.
That was a great move by Miguel Paludo from the outside. Watch Brian Scott, this 18 truck here. Tight racing with a 9 of Hornaday. That's why he got in the outside wall, Mikey.
And he gave Ron Hornaday a huge break there and himself as well. I mean, it was self-preservation, but Hornaday chopped old Brian Scott off, and Brian was able to stay off of Hornaday and stay out of the wall both. Great job, Brian.
Now Hornaday just in front of the 3 of Ty Dillon. Dillon running a little higher line as he's got his teammate down below, Joey Coulter.
We've seen Ty Dillon way up the racetrack. At first I thought he had slipped, but it might be on purpose. He might like it up there.
18 of Brian Scott making the move to the bottom of the racetrack. He's tucked in behind the 22 of Joey Coulter now as Ty Dillon just moves in front of that 22.
We can see Joey work that steering wheel through the right side window of that truck.
That's the battle for ninth, and you can see Scott up on the high side just outside the top 10. Seems like he's got a really solid truck. We saw him go all the way to the back to 29th, and he's fought his way up now to battle for that top 10 position.
Joey Coulter racing back, trying to get back to the back bumper of that 3 of Ty Dillon. While they're racing for position, Kevin Harvick has put 1.5 seconds between himself and Justin Lofton.
I think that 2 truck likes those 4 tires they put on it.
Kevin Harvick trying to erase the fact that he has never won at Dover, and he has been dominant, leading 53 of the 79 laps that have been run.
You know, sometimes, Phil, when weather is an issue, it takes the dominant truck and doesn't allow him to win the race. When you have the fastest truck and you know it's a 200-lap race, you can strategize and make sure you're in pretty good shape to be around at lap 200. But when they throw the red flag at 147 and you weren't quite prepared for it because of pit strategy or just the sequence of the race, then that's really frustrating. So it'll be interesting to see if the dominant truck is able to not only outrun the competition, but then beat the rain as well.
And right now, they're all on the exact same strategy. Everybody pitted on lap number 69, so he's not going to get beat on that right now. So he's in great shape. He has the fastest truck on the racetrack. He's opened up almost a 2-second lead now over Justin Lofton. And now it's just a matter of watching the weather and see what happens. But where he could really get in trouble if the caution was out around lap 105, something like that. He elects to stay out because they've only run about 30 laps. And then everyone else pits, and then he has to make a green flag pit stop later. So many things can happen. This is not going to be a cakewalk for Marcus Richmond and that crew for Kevin Harvick.
Right now, it seems like it's a cakewalk. Harvick has a 2.3 second lead over Justin Lofton at Dover. Welcome back. Plenty of action early on in this one from Dover. Now tomorrow, for the first time ever, the Rolex Sports Car Series will rock the Motor City. Expect a furious fight to the finish because only one team can be the first to tame Belle Isle. The Rolex Sports Car Series Detroit, tomorrow 5 Eastern, live on Speed. Getting a little bit darker clouds rolling in here as we're closing in on 6 o'clock on the East Coast.
We've got that vortex theory working for us, though.
And Darrell loves the vortex here at Dover because the speeds are so fast and the track's so small.
Yep.
It can really whip up the wind and keep it right off of us. And you almost wouldn't be able to argue with him if you looked at the radar. 2 things have just broken right up when they got here. We're racing right here toward halfway.
Inside of 10 laps to go till the halfway mark.
Justin Lofton running in the second spot. He has a 2.1 second differential between he and race leader Kevin Harvick. And James Buescher's back there in third. Johnny Sauter, Miguel Paludo is fifth. Peters, Kligerman, Hornaday, Coulter, and Ty Dillon your top 10.
I think these crew chiefs are pretty confident about the halfway point, and they also, I believe, would be thinking.
Get NASCAR to do something about that. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Talk about lap trucks. I think James Buescher having to negotiate some of the lap trucks.
And like I was saying, I believe the teams are pretty confident it's not going to make it to 200 laps either. And that's all the information that the crew chiefs are down on pit road trying to sort through. How far will it go? Can we pull something here on pit road that'll give us a chance to put a move on Kevin Harvick? Or is it just going to run just past halfway? Whoa, look at Todd Bodine again, sideways off the turn.
Yeah, and how about just in front of him, Ross Chastain in that 08, able to get by the 88. Harvick.
Yeah, we got to give Ross Chastain a little bit of a shout out here. This team has had a great effort coming back after a couple weeks of disappointment. They've had some engine failures and some things that have really kept them from getting the finishes they deserve. But he qualified 12th. He's running just outside the top 10 right now, battling with Matt Crafton. So this kind of underfunded team and somewhat inexperienced driver is doing a really good job today at Dover. We'll see if they can finish it off. Ray?
Not a good day, Hermie, so far for the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet and Ty Dillon. He started 6th, but his truck is very, very free. He was racing there for a little while with his teammate Joey Coulter, but just couldn't hold him off. So his spotter, Andy Houston, has told him, try to go to the high side of the racetrack and see if your truck will get a little bit different.
Behind you here in the wall, no caution yet.
Ryan Sieg in the 39. We heard the hard contact. You see the damage to that race truck.
It's been 27 laps since most of the field, just about all the field, was on pit road.
This is what I was talking about.
That's about a third of the way through a fuel run.
This is the opportunity that teams are looking at and need in order to see if they can pull one on Harvick. I don't believe, though, Phil, the rain is quite close enough for people to stay out and Kevin Harvick not be able to get back around them all. He's that fast.
Take a look at what just happened. The 39
He was all by himself. Yeah, just right behind that battle between Todd Bodine and Matt Crafton. Just lost the back end, exiting turn number 4.
Yeah, racing inside the top 15, right there in that great battle.
Self-cleaning straightaways here, 9-degree banking on the straightaways, and you spin like that off the corner and you're pretty much going to hit that inside wall.
That's why we talked about John West Townley spinning there off turn 2 and was able to keep it out of the wall somehow, and you're really fortunate if you're able to accomplish that.
So Ryan Sieg is able to drive the 39 back to pit road and into the garage area. Kevin Harvick still out in front of this field. Justin Lofton, James Buescher, Johnny Sauter, and Miguel Paludo, your top 5. A wild ride for Ryan Sieg as well as a few others. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by Scion, making vehicles for today's connected youth. Learn more at Scion.com. Scion, what moves you? And by Pep Boys. Pep Boys does everything for less. Call 1-800-PEP-BOYS.
Well, what we talked about happened. Kevin Harvick stayed out, and I love the call some of these other drivers made. There's David Starr getting the Aaron's lucky dog, getting back on track, getting his lap back. But Phil, a lot of guys pitted because Harvick didn't. They know they're not going to beat Harvick heads up. But if the race goes far enough, maybe they can outlast him before he has to get some gas.
Johnny Sauter was the highest scored driver who came onto pit road. He was running 4th and decided to make the gamble.
But I think he had some sort of a problem with his power steering. They had the hood open on that truck. Ray, what's going on with Harvick's pit?
Well, Phil, just wanted to give you an update. Kevin came on and said, we've got a pit or these guys are going to beat us. And Ernie Cope said the rain is about 5 miles out and we can still go 50 more laps. So let them come and try. We're the best truck out there. They wanted to opt for track position. We'll see how it plays out.
When they take the green flag, it will be officially halfway of this race, which will make it an official race even if the rain were to come. Green flag back in the air. Another great restart for Kevin Harvick.
And Miguel Paludo did a nice job. Got a good jump on the outside there. Stays beside Lofton down into turn 1. Lofton's able to get around him as they exit. But great job by Miguel Paludo here today. We talked about a track where you're a rookie. You don't know a whole lot about these trucks. And this place really seems to complement cats like that.
The top 10 trucks stayed on the racetrack, or the top 10 running trucks in line on this restart all stayed out.
Harvick, Lofton, Paludo, Buescher, Hornaday, your top 5.
Ryan Scott has made his way up to the 7th spot after that early incident he was involved in. Right behind this, there's a side-by-side battle. That's for the 3rd spot between Paludo and Buescher. Teammates, Hornaday right behind.
You see how sideways Buescher was trying to make that pass? Didn't have that air to lean on because Miguel had taken it away from him and couldn't complete the pass. Good battle here.
Yeah, Miguel's done a nice job on the outside, too. He's done a lot of his running on the outside of the racetrack.
Talk about the potential of rain. A lot of eyes to the sky trying to figure out when that rain will come and if it will come. Completed 103 laps on lap 104 with Miguel Paludo just in front of his teammate James Buescher.
As Ray reported, Kevin Harvick can go to about lap 150, as well as the rest of these guys up here that restarted this race up in the top 10. The other guys, they can go to about lap 180.
And if we would stay green as they're running laps right around 24 seconds, got to think it's 20 to 23 minutes until they're going to have to pit.
Ooh, Paludo gets a little bit loose, allows Buescher to get on the bottom.
Some good math, Rick.
It was quick.
Yeah, it was.
Tried to do it very quickly.
I saw you taking your shoes off. I wondered what you were doing. Look at Buescher.
Bobble there by
Still
Buescher.
Sideways. Hornaday drives up on the tailgate of Miguel Paludo. That's a battle for the 4th spot. Good run for Ron here.
Jeff Burton, see him with all that extensive damage involved in an incident earlier.
These trucks are built so that the air will push them down, and Jeb's truck's not designed that way anymore, so he's got his hands full just trying to hang on to it.
Timothy Peters in the 17 running a little higher line. We see the 18. Brian Scott trying to get closer to that back bumper, and while he's doing that, the 88 of Matt Crafton moves to the bottom of the racetrack to try to get by that 18.
Right behind them, Parker Klickerman. He is the first truck right now running in the 9th spot that pitted on our last caution flag.
We heard the conversation back and forth between Harvick and his crew chief saying, I want to pit. These guys are going to pit. They're going to beat us. It's going to rain soon, I promise. And Kevin Harvick's leading the race, and he's thinking right now, it better rain soon.
Yeah. And Kevin Harvick has a 1-second lead over James Lofton. As we continue to watch Ron Hornaday, it'll be Justin Lofton, as we continue to watch Ron Hornaday close the gap on Miguel Paludo. Ray, what's going on with the 13?
Well, Rick, I just ran down to check on it. When they came in the pits last time, the hood went up on that Hot Honey Chevrolet. These guys have had an absolute miserable season. One good run at Rockingham, all their other finishes have been 24th or worse. And today it appears to be a power steering line that is ruptured, and that is the problem. Johnny Sauter said his truck is all over the place in the center of the corners. So it looks like not another good day. They're back in 17th right now.
There was another truck that was all over the place, and that was the 9 of Ron Hornaday as he made the pass on the 32 of Paludo.
Yeah, just cleared Paludo and then was sideways once he got just in front of him.
Matt Crafton able to make the pass on Brian Scott. Matt takes over the 7th spot.
You know, we talked about these trucks being to that. Watch this move by Hornaday, just barely clearing Paludo, and watch what happens to him when he gets up off the turn.
Yellow.
Slider, the 61. Wes
Rick into the 3 on the apron.
Shortens that truck up as he got into the wall.
Running on the lead lap, too. Strong run by Wes Burton. Crashed all the way down into the 3rd turn. You got to figure that started off the 2nd turn. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I would think so.
Wes was running 21st.
Getting a report that they're feeling some raindrops up on the roof where the spotters are located.
Drops on the window.
Camera operators are letting us know that potentially a little moisture. So the yellow flag comes out for the 61 of Wes Burton. Take a look at this incident.
Just at the halfway down the backstretch, he got a little bit loose off of 2, gets into the outside wall.
Wow. That took a long time to happen, didn't it, guys?
Sure did, and he's going to make hard contact against the Armco barrier on the inside of the racetrack.
So that brings out our 6th caution.
Look, that did develop right off turn 2, just trying to avoid the 75 truck of Caleb Holman, and pinched himself down a little bit. And when he made that contact, it took him about a quarter of a mile to have that crash.
Riding along with Jeb Burton.
You see in front of you, 61 just got a problem. He's got wrecking on the bottom. Caution's out.
Pits are still closed right now. Kevin Harvick has another lap to decide whether he's going to come in now. But man, how do you come in now with it sprinkling, Michael?
There's no way he's coming in now. This rain looks like once it starts, it's going to be here for a bit. So he's just hoping that things go to plan for that team. And the plan is we stay out and it starts raining.
Aaron's lucky dog will go to John West Townley. He'll get a lap back. That will put him back on the lead lap. He's currently scored in the 18th position.
Had a spin earlier, got a lap down, and now back in the top 20 on the lead lap. Good recovery for that team in John West Townley.
Another one who has had a pretty good recovery, Todd Bodine. We saw him sliding through 3 and 4, blew the right rear tire. He's currently scored in the 12th position, so he's been able to battle back. But right now, Harvick and Rain, the 2 big stories. Sunday NASCAR Race Day mixes it up with the Monster Mile. Denny Hamlin and points leader Greg Biff will join us live. We'll tell you how Casey Kane turned his season around. Plus, Jimmy Johnson discusses his team's shocking struggles in the 600. Don't miss NASCAR Race Day, fueled by Sunoco from Dover. That's Sunday, 10:30 Eastern, live on Speed. Well, we're right along with Justin Lofton right now, and you can see the precipitation getting on some of our camera lenses.
Now, the ultimate way, if you're the point leader, for this deal to end is you have to accept you're probably not going to beat the cat in the 2. You're not as fast as him. You've led a lap. You're running second. You've outscored everyone you're racing this championship for.
You're going to win your class.
Justin Lofton's probably thinking this was a pretty good day if it ends now. You've got to beat the guys you're racing the championship for, and you got to also be able to take your lumps when you're beat, and Kevin Harvick is beating up on him pretty good today.
Justin Lofton knows how to win a championship, won a championship with Eddie Sharp Racing in the ARCA Racing Series.
There goes John West Townley getting his Aaron's Lucky Dog back. Think we can go green flag racing here for a bit, guys?
Got some people.
They're staying dry.
Pitching.
Yeah.
They've already pitched their tent. That's actually just behind pit road wall.
Just behind Justin Lofton's pits. Pit road was open last time, so obviously these guys have made the decision, as we suspected, to not come down pit road, not give up that track position or the lead or second or whatever. You have to ride this thing out here for a bit.
The lights are still on the pace car, so that means that they are not getting in line to go yet. So NASCAR's still waiting to find out.
We have a window up here, Rick, that I saw some rain falling on earlier, and it seems to have slowed up a little bit now. So maybe we get this thing back for some green flag racing. It'd be fun having these guys bunched up again. We see a lot of actions when you bunch these guys up.
What happens, Michael, if NASCAR says, okay, 1 to go next time? Does Kevin Harvick come in the pits then?
No, he stays. He's got enough gas to go another, what, 35 laps,
40,
we guess?
35, 40 laps probably.
So I think he's in good shape.
A few trucks have come onto pit road. One of those staying out to 29 of Parker Kligerman, Hermie.
Well, Rick, he's one truck that wants this race to go back green because he came in on lap 96 when all the other teams stayed on the racetrack, and he got 4 tires and fuel and had already driven himself back up inside the top 10, but prior to this caution coming out. So if this thing goes back green and these other drivers have to come to pit road, the 29 of Parker Kligerman will be sitting in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we reported that he is the top running truck right now that pitted on that most recent caution flag.
Time for the Ram guts and glory of the race. Yes, we're focusing in on the 9 of Ron Hornaday. Hornaday currently running in the 4th spot.
The bumper bar dragging the racetrack.
Had a little bit of a close call here after he was able to get by Miguel Paludo.
Look at this truck.
See his hands going back and forth.
I would like to monitor his heart rate right at that point, how much back and forth it was going. That's a heck of a ride. We saw what happened to Wes Burton when he got a little off track there, off 2.
That bumper brakes is still dragging on that car, Michael.
Stay with us. Light rain in the area has us under caution. Welcome back. Still under a caution flag situation as there's a little bit of moisture in the area. The American Ethanol Fastback, Kyle Busch and Mark Martin are the only drivers to have won at Dover in all 3 of NASCAR's top series. Kyle Busch has done it on 8 tracks. 8 other tracks or 8 tracks in total. Kyle Busch has been impressive in the NASCAR top 3 series.
You know, Kyle Busch and his brother Kurt are the only 2 to ever win in the truck series here as brothers. Bobby and Terry Labonte have won in the truck series, but not at the same racetrack.
Let's go down trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, we've been listening in on the radio, and Ernie's continuing to tell us, Kevin, to stay out. Sounds like your radar system was pretty good. You said it was 4 miles away, and about 3 minutes later it started raining.
Yeah, the radar says it's raining now. It's going to get heavier. I'm sure it'll go opposite because that's the way stuff seems to be working lately. But I'm pretty sure it's going to rain.
What's Kevin been saying about the racetrack today?
He hasn't said nothing that run. When we put 2 tires on it, we got too tight. Put 4 tires back on it, we're back good to go.
Okay, so how far can you go on gas if we do go back to green?
Right now we're at lap 149.
149. The other guys can go about 30 more than that, guys.
Yeah, that's 30 laps from now, and if it's already sprinkling and they think it's going to rain harder, I can't imagine we're going to go 30 laps under caution.
Yeah, I would think not, and I would think Kevin Harvick's window is actually widening out a little bit because of these caution laps. Typically, we figure 2 caution laps equals 1 green flag lap. So every lap that he runs under caution will move that target that Ernie was talking about, lap 149, a little bit farther into the race.
Hermie.
Well, let's get another opinion from crew chief Mike Shelton. Ernie Cope, Kevin Harvick's crew chief, says he thinks it's going to rain big time shortly. What is your radar saying, and do you want it to rain, or do you like this thing to go back to green?
We're seeing the same thing on the radar. I mean, when it rains, I think it's going to be big. Our position, I'd like to finish it, but for where we're at, third place is about the truck we got. Let's take it, go home. Be a good points day for us. I'd just like to thank Quickie. Had them at Rockingham, finish second, third. Here would be great. I mean, just continue our streak here, get back on a rhythm, get our points back we've lost.
Well, these guys, it doesn't really matter to these guys either way, but I think right now they'll take a third place truck and go to the house and get ready to go to Texas.
Mikey, let's find out. How about the driver of that 6 truck? Can we talk with him?
Let's try it. Hey, Justin Lofton, it's Michael Waltrip up in the speed booth. You got a second?
You left the microphone plugged in, right?
Yes, I'm doing everything right. Hey, Justin, it's Michael Waltrip up in speed. Can you hear me? You got a second? Justin Lofton, it's Michael Waltrip up in the speed booth. Got a second?
Not seeing the hand move toward the button for the radio.
No, I didn't unplug it either.
We are still under a yellow flag condition rolling around the racetrack. Harvick out in front, Lofton, Buescher, Hornaday, and Paludo your top 5. Pace car brought the field onto pit road. The crews are now going to cover the trucks up as the light rain has continued. So instead of staying under caution and rolling around the racetrack, red flag has come out with 80 laps to go. We've completed 120 laps. Out in front of this field, it's Kevin Harvick. As we heard from his crew chief, Ernie Cope, earlier, he thinks it's going to rain even harder from this point forward.
I think so, too.
Ernie hopes so. Ernie hopes so, certainly.
Don't climb out of the truck just yet. So if it were to rain, Kevin Harvick would get credited with the win, and it would be his first ever win at Dover in any of the top 3 series.
And he deserves it. What a dominating truck that he has. New track record, dominant all day long, and sitting there in the rain with the lead, knowing that strategy could have bitten him or anything could have gone wrong. Ray, got to be pretty. He's got to be pretty satisfied right now.
Yeah, and he's got an assistant here to hold the umbrella over so he doesn't get wet, and that's nice. Dominant truck today, Kevin. How good was it?
To be honest with you, it's pretty tight up off the corner. We could definitely make it better, but it's been fairly good entering and through the center and back to the throttle. So they've done a good job on pit road, and everybody on our Kroger Tide Chevys had a good weekend so far. And I don't know what this weather's going to do, but it's been good so far.
It's not official obviously yet, but once they do, if they call this race, you'll have your first win at Dover. How's that feel?
Well, let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Okay. All right, so I guess I'll get back to him in a minute, Hermie, as soon as it's official.
I want to get a word with Ron Hornaday. Ron, currently sitting in the top 5, and the question is, are you satisfied with what you have, or do you want to see us get back on the green flag racing?
Let it rain right now. We're really tight. We tried to pull a rubber out of the left rear, and the truck got tighter, so that's in the characteristics. But I think we missed the shock package a little bit. I could run them down. I run just as fast as the 2, and then when I catch somebody, I get arrow tight. But got to thank Anderson Maple Syrup and Chevrolet, AM/FM Energy. It's been quite a ride. These guys have been working their guts out of Joe Danette and other sports, and been a lot of fun. So we're working on them. We'll try to get these guys.
That's Ron Hornaday. If the rain holds, stays here, he'll get his second consecutive top 5 finish.
He sounds pretty content. Said his truck's tight, and get a top 5. Seems like Ron Ron thinks that's about all he's got, too.
I want to find somebody that wants to go back to racing.
I want to find somebody that thinks they're going to go beat Kevin Harvick, and then I want us to find out how they're going to do it. I'm like you, Phil. I want somebody to say, let's go. And, you know, it could be back to Parker Kligerman in ninth. He's got the gas he needs to get the track position. Maybe Parker wants to go racing.
They're still strapped into their trucks. We're still under a red flag condition. Welcome back. Still under a red flag condition from Dover International Speedway, the 6th race of the 2012 season. Kevin Harvick still out in front. We want to take a look at today's fastest pit stop, presented by AutoStop.
And this is a heck of a pit stop. This is maybe
how fast is your fastest pit stop?
0.0, Phil?
0.00, yes. Kevin Harvick electing not to come down pit road. Ernie Copus, crew chief, assured him that the rain was imminent, that stay on the racetrack. We want to keep this lead, keep this track position. So far, looks pretty good.
Man, you got to respect Ernie Cope. He probably had a bit of a debate with his driver on what to do, and Kevin said, I think we might ought to pit. And he said, nope, we're staying. So I love that call.
And we've talked a lot about the radar and the inclement weather that we were expecting. Let's get a look at the radar now. Ray.
Rick, I am down in the garage area, and the good news is we are not racing over in Baltimore. We are not racing in Washington, D.C., because they've got some serious warnings going over there for thunderstorms. There's a tornado warning up here. We've got coastal flooding all the way down here possible. But look at Dover International Speedway and the big square that has opened up to our southwest. If that thing stays open, we could get 45 or 50 minutes of opening right here as it comes across the Delmarva. So we've got bad stuff to the northwest, but a big clearing right here. So I think it's possible we'll go back racing.
Boy, that was a big moment for Ray. He went all Weather Channel on us.
He did.
I mean, he had the Delmarva Peninsula.
I'm not sure he wouldn't look really good in front of a green screen.
I love that.
Right.
Behind a green screen, he would look good.
Okay, that'd be better. We've got the jet dryers on the racetrack now. As we take a recap of what took place, Jay White early in this one blows the engine. The 23 done for the day. Third caution comes out with the 27 of Jeff Burton and the 33 of Cale Gale getting to each other.
Ryan Scott gets a little bit of a piece of that. Parker Kligerman as well. Max Gresham also involved.
Todd Bodine sliding through 3 and 4. He's been able to rebound back up into the top 15. Not so much for Ryan Seago in the 39.
Or Wes Burton, who lost it off turn 2 and finally crashed down into turn 3.
And after that last caution, we had stayed under caution with the trucks running around the track, and that's when it started to rain. They brought them onto pit road. Red flag has come out on the Lucas Oil 200. Sunday, immediately following the Cup race from Dover, turn to speed for comprehensive post-race coverage. JR, Kenny, and Kyle celebrate with the driver who slayed the Monster Mile. Debate and analyze all of the action and catch up with the key players after the checkered flag flies. NASCAR Victory Lane immediately following the race right here on Speed. Let's go back trackside to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Matt Crafton, I have yet to find a driver that said, I want to go back racing right now. Are you going to be the first one?
I do and I don't. It's a kind of sweet and bitter deal. We have a really good Menards Toyota Tundra. It was really good on the first run. We had a loose wheel on the second run. I was just waiting for the wheel to break, and it definitely came loose, and I rode around there in the back and almost went a lap down. So we kind of had to get ourselves out of pit sequence to get some track position, but I want to go back racing because I think this truck's pretty good.
That's Matt Crafton. They've uncovered the cows on the front of these trucks, so it looks like if we can stay dry or no more raindrops for the next couple minutes, we may be getting back on the racetrack.
NASCAR has told the drivers, put your helmets back on, guys. Get ready to go back onto the racetrack.
I wish they'd go talk to Parker Kligerman. I know he wants to go racing.
Well, we just heard Matt say he wants to come back. He thinks he's got a pretty good...
He was on the fence.
Yeah, he was definitely teeter-tottering on the fence.
Check this out, guys. just before the rain, that's how much rubber was on the racetrack. It hasn't even, it's barely sprinkled, and we put the jet dryers on the track. I'm trying to get my arms around this tire blacking up the track. It goes away after a caution flag. It goes away after just blowing it with the jet dryer. Is that going to change the setup, or are these guys expecting that in just a couple of laps the rubber would be right back on the surface?
And the racetrack was more like it was on the left when we started the race with the blackness on the racetrack from the rubber.
This is the first time it's been like this throughout this race. Like
today.
Yes, exactly. And so they're faced with some different conditions. So it'll be interesting to see if Kevin's truck, he said it was tight. You know, he didn't really like it 100%. See if it likes this new rubberless circuit.
We will find out potentially. Drivers with their helmets back on, window nets going back up. They might fire the engines here shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back. Trucks are rolling once again, and we have pit road open. The field being led onto pit road by the 2 of Kevin Harvick. So trucks rolling onto pit road. We go back to Hermie.
Yeah, Rick, they were waiting to see what the 2 truck of Kevin Harvick was going to do. They come in for tires, fuel, no adjustments. Going to try to get him back out and try to gain a few spots on pit road. Ray?
Justin Lofton has been reminded a number of times we are racing everybody but the 2, so have a real smooth stop here. Ernie Cope told Kevin Harvick we're going to go 4 tires here and go the distance. So they are going to put tires on this Tide Chevrolet. They'll also put gas in there, and they are going to make a wedge adjustment, going to try to loosen him up a little bit coming off of the corner. The 4 tire stop here may lose Harvick a spot. Looks like Ron Hornaday is going to have a shot at getting out first. Oh, that was tight. Harvick may have beat him.
It was Hornaday, just barely, Ray, beating Harvick to the yellow line. Yellow line is the last speed line, yellow line to yellow line.
We had a number of trucks stay on. I talk about how bad I knew Parker Kligerman wanted to race. He wanted to race so bad he just didn't pit. Watch this battle off pit road just by the nose.
So Hornaday wins the race off of pit road. He'll be able to start just in front of the 2 of Kevin Harvick. Let's go back to pit road and find out a little more about the 6, Ray.
Well, Rick, so far it's been a dream season for this race team, but they just had their first little big problem, I should say. But here's the deal. The rear tire changer came around to the left side, and when he went to do the tires, the air hose broke. They actually had a malfunction there, so a 28-second pit stop puts Lofton deep in the field.
Green flag back in the air. We're back underway. Miguel Paludo, race leader at Dover. How much are you on the edge of your seat when you have a completely green racetrack and you're asked to go wide open around this place?
Remember what we talked earlier? What you don't know won't hurt you. Miguel's never been faced with this before. He's had a good truck all day long. I think he was confident and ready when they threw that green flag to see what he could do.
I don't think Kevin Harvick wants to waste any time trying to make his way back towards the front. He's back up racing now for the top 5 against Cale Gale.
Great recovery by Cale Gale. We saw him lose a lap earlier. As crew chief saying we need that lucky dog. He got back in a position to have a good solid run here.
Michael, you pointed out just moments ago how this track changed colors, and now we see after just a couple laps, look how dark the track is already.
These tires are amazing. Goodyear's been asked to do so many things with the tires. We want them to be tougher. We want them to lay down rubber on the tracks. They only do everything these teams ask for. Goodyear's an amazing company, and this is a great example of that. They have technology that puts rubber on the track, and then they can just blow it right off.
Todd Bodine moves into 2nd place ahead of Parker Kligerman. And now look at the 3 of Ty Dillon trying to get by that 29 as well.
Here goes Todd Bodine for the lead against Miguel Paludo. Remember, it wasn't that long ago when he was cutting a tire down and spinning out off turn 4.
Todd Bodine, your leader at Dover.
Wow, what a recovery. We've seen a lot of great recoveries here. Todd Bodine. We talked about Cale Gale. Guys that have been to the back. Brian Scott, all of them battling their way back to the front.
Parker Kligerman was involved in an incident with Cale Gale.
2 is able to get by the 3 of Ty Dillon.
Look at Parker. He looked like he's got an idea of grabbing that 2nd spot before Harvick tries to get 3rd away from him.
Looked as though the 13 of Johnny Sauter was slow on the apron of the racetrack as they were going through 1 and 2.
Caution out,
Caution comes out one more time.
24 of Max Gresham. Right front tire. All the skew. He's made contact with the outside safer barrier.
The damage to that truck.
And it looks as though he's going to shut it down.
You know, we talked during the caution flag, during the red flag, about all the guys that were kind of satisfied. Let's see if we can take a look at what happened to Max here as he exits turn number 4. Looks like that right front tire goes down. Something broke, or the right front tire went down as they exit turn 4. We talk about how everyone would be content with the rain. I can guarantee you right now there's one guy that would be happy if it rained again, and that's Todd Bodine.
Yeah.
Todd Bodine get back to victory lane.
And we talked about how the rain can mess up a dominant truck's plan. Kevin Harvick has lost the lead. He's having to battle through traffic. He didn't just cut right through him. He's back in the 4th spot, and now we're under caution for a crash. And Todd Bodine saying, come on now, how about just another little shower here? Finish this baby off.
Todd Bodine's last win coming back in 2010 Kentucky race. That was his 21st win.
You remember what happened back on lap 68 with this Todd Bodine truck? Spinning out down in turn 3 and 4, almost hits the outside wall, got a flat right rear tire, and now he's just one little rainstorm away from being over there in victory lane celebrating.
One little monsoon away.
That's all it's going to take.
Again, that was back on lap 68 when Bodine was completely sideways through 3 and 4. Had to take that truck back onto pit road, put 4 fresh tires on there.
He might not get the monsoon, but he has a tornado coming. That 2 truck of Kevin Harvick has been fast, has dominated this race all the way back up to 4th now. He just needs some more green flag running.
I just love this drama. I like it when you never. That's why I love the truck races so much. Even though they're short, there just seems to be so many things that happen between the time they say go and they say it's over that change the complexion of these races. For example, the guys like Todd Bodine spinning out. Would you just have thought he would ever be in this position this late in the race?
You wouldn't think so.
But is in position as we stay under caution. American Ethanol. Fast fact, ethanol is the cheapest, cleanest, anti-knock ingredient we have for today's higher compression engines. American Ethanol.
Michael, did you know
faster than a rabbit?
Yeah, ethanol was actually created in 15th century Scotland.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that? You know what they called it back then?
Moonshine.
They did. You did know that then.
I didn't know when. I just knew that that's what it was called. I thought it was called White Lightning, but it's moonshine.
Moonshine.
Did you know that
today is Donut Day?
It is, and the Salvation Army served donuts to the soldiers' daughters back in World War II. So it became National Donut Day. And speaking of which, I could use a turkey and Swiss on pumpernickel right now because I didn't. I'm hungry. And you talking
because
about,
I didn't. I'm hungry.
You talking about donuts really messed me up.
I apologize. Well, everyone's schedule has been a little bit thrown off because of the situation on the racetrack. We thought that the rain was coming, and once it was going to get here, it was going to stay. At least that's what Ernie Cope thought. He said, once it starts to rain, it's going to rain, and they'll probably call this race. Well, that didn't happen. They did bring the trucks onto pit road. They were going to cover them up, didn't need to. The rain had stopped, and now we're back to racing.
Do you think that Kevin's over the fact that he said it was going to rain? And well, Ernie said it's going to rain.
How about Paluto going to make his way down pit road?
Miguel Paluto, currently in the 2nd spot, comes to pit road. Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, guys, Miguel Paluto coming down pit road. They do not think that they can outrun Todd Bodine the way they are, and his truck on that last restart a little bit freer may have something to do with the change in the racetrack. So they're coming down pit road, and they're going to get 4 tires, fill him up with fuel, and a little bit of an air pressure adjustment to try to get him back on the racetrack, and then hope it goes green all the way to the end. Ray?
Well, Hermie, Justin Lofton certainly in a championship chase, and here's the part that caused a big problem for them. Check this out. This part is normally directly connected right there, and when the rear tire changer came around, it just snapped right off. And if you look at the end of this hose, you can see here, I've got a lot of things going on, I've got not enough hands, but check that out. I've never seen it shear off right at the hose like that, but that's what lost them all the positions on the racetrack right there.
And it used to be, and I believe the rule has changed this year, but it used to be that you had to finish the stop with the guns that were over the wall. So they would have had to have taken the front tire, that air gun, brought it over to finish the rear tire stop. But they've made a change where you can now bring a replacement over the wall as opposed to have to use that same gun.
But it just cost you so much time to do all that, and that's why right now Justin Lofton is mired back in the 12th spot.
But Paludo coming to pit road moved Kevin Harvick up a spot. He's now going to restart on the inside of row number 2. So he will probably, if I know Kevin Harvick and how fast his truck is and how aggressive he's going to be, he might have a shot to take this thing 3 wide down into turn 1. He will be on this restart, maybe try to get Todd Bodine as they get off into turn 1.
And I think at the very least, I think he wants to try to get this done as quick as he can, just in the event it may start raining again.
And by the way, his crew chief said it was going to rain in 5 minutes. He didn't say how long it was going to rain. So
That's right.
He's off the hook. It did rain in 5 minutes.
You think he's off the hook as far as Kevin's concerned?
I think so. I think Kevin's all right now.
So Todd Bodine, Parker Kligerman, 1 and 2. As you mentioned, Kevin Harvick, Ty Dillon making up row number 2. Harvick will more than likely be behind Parker Kligerman if Todd Bodine chooses that outside line, which we have seen our race leader do time after time. So Kligerman will have to have a pretty good start, or he'll have that 2 of Kevin Harvick to the left of him and racing him into turn 1.
Yes. And that I think Phil said it best. Kevin's going to want to get this done in a hurry, and I won't be surprised if they're not 3 wide when they get to turn 1.
Ray Dunlap.
You know, guys, I thought there was a very good chance the 18 truck would go to victory lane today. Kyle Busch has won here twice. Brian Scott, the driver, also a winner. And his crew chief, Eric Phillips, one of the top crew chiefs. Actually, he's the highest finishing crew chief right now as far as wins go of active winners. Rick Wren just won ahead of him. But I want to look at the crew chiefs that have won in 2012. A very different list. Take a look at this, guys, with the career number of wins. And today, if Ernie Cope adds his name to that list, it's going to screw up my graphic.
That's okay, Ray. We'll make new ones. Kevin Harvick could screw up the season, too. We've had 5 different winners. If he's able to get back to victory lane, that would be the first repeat winner of 2012. And this time,
he's wanting to screw up all that stuff, too.
Todd Bodine has chose the inside line, so he will have Harvick on his back bumper on this restart.
I think right now Todd Bodine knows that Kevin Harvick is the competition for this race, and he may feel like, hey, let me keep him behind me. I can control the restart a little bit better, keep him behind me, and I can keep him from making it 3 wide on the bottom. Michael, what do you think?
I don't know, Phil. I kind of would want to be up on the outside, try to get a really good jump on Kligerman, pin Kligerman down in front of Kevin Harvick, and have that truck in there as a cushion. If Todd gets a good start, Kevin's going to go with him. Kligerman won't be there anymore. If it works like Kevin hopes, he and Todd will both clear Kligerman.
Todd Bodine will restart this race, and green flag back in the air. Parker Kligerman with a great restart, stays side by side, door to door with Bodine as they go through 1 and 2.
Harvick doesn't get such a good restart. He's got Ty Dillon up on the outside of him.
Well, it worked well for Todd Bodine.
Now we're seeing Ty Dillon make the move as it looks as though he might be able to get by the 2 going through 1 and 2.
He does make the pass. Remember, Ty Dillon followed Kevin Harvick just about for 250 laps at Martinsville earlier this year, and they finished 1-2.
Oh, there goes Hornaday around.
Hornaday slides and hits the inside wall.
Caution, save fuel, save fuel.
They were talking. That was Bodine's radio we were hearing. Save fuel, save fuel.
Wow. Here's Jeff Hensley. You can see him mouth what happened to Ron.
Take another look. He was on the inside of Justin Lofton.
See if he gets loose down here. We often see these trucks on the inside get loose.
Oh, wow. He just sideways a little bit and ran into Lofton, and it turned him around.
You had to chase it up the hill, ran into Justin Lofton, and around he goes. And again, the 9-degree bank in the backstretch just puts him into the inside wall.
This monster doesn't care how many championships or races you won. You make a mistake here, and you will pay for it.
Hornaday running 10th when this happened.
Man, that's such a helpless feeling when that thing steps out on you and you know what lies ahead.
You could see him get out of the throttle when it stepped out the first time, but it wasn't enough to keep him from making contact with Lofton.
All right, we're going to see now if Ty Bodine starts on the outside to keep Kevin Harvick behind him. Because if he started on the inside to keep Kevin behind him, that was genius. If he just needs to be on the bottom, we're going to find out.
I think it works so well for him. I think he's going to go the inside again. Yes.
He did have a good restart, but Parker Kligerman, equally good, was right on his outside when they entered turn 1.
Yeah, but Ty was able to beat him off of turn 2. That's where he really had the advantage.
And that's what messed up Harvick, because Kligerman got such a great start. He was side by side with Todd.
And we heard Todd Bodine's crew saying, shut the engine off, save fuel.
Yeah, these guys will run a little ways and coast a little ways.
Fuel window we talked about at the beginning of the race, 75 to 85 laps. Most of the field came onto pit road around lap 121, 122.
You see him right now, RPM 0. That means the engine shut off on that Toyota.
Coasting behind the pace car.
But these caution laps are adding laps to that fuel window as well.
Ray, what are they talking about with the 2 team?
Well, Kevin Harvick's been on the radio saying his Tide Chevrolet is nothing like it was now that he's in traffic. He said that dirty air has really made his truck upset. So he lost a spot there to Ty Dillon, and he said, I'm not sure that back here in this dirty air we're good enough to win.
And he was the class of the field at the beginning of this race. Dominant, putting 2 seconds on second place. Aaron's lucky dog goes to Caleb Holman in that 75 truck.
Give a shout out to Jeb Burton. We saw him crash early. He's battled back to be inside the top 20. Hermie.
Well, how quickly things can change. Ron got like you've been in wrong line in the restart every time today. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I was 8th right there, and all of a sudden the 32 pulled in. I said, oh, we're done now. You get hung on the bottom right there, and I guess the 6 just sucked around. He came down a little bit right in the center. He drove it up there and come back across the front. We might have touched a little bit right down. It just loose. I mean, we're on old tires, and it's the price you pay. But we'll get it back out there, get some points, I hope.
That's Ron Hornaday. And what I was going to report before this green flag came back out is a 9 truck of Ron Hornaday came to pit road for fuel only and no tires, as Ron just pointed out.
Yeah, premature end of the day for Ron Hornaday. He may get it back out, but certainly out of contention for a decent finish.
Field all behind the 11 of Todd Bodine, chooses the bottom of the racetrack once again for his restart point. Green flag back in the air.
Another good start by Parker Kligerman on the outside to see what Ty can do through the center here. He beat him right through the center of the corner to the throttle. Not this time, Michael.
Parker's hanging on that right rear quarter. We saw what happened to Hornaday with somebody over there. This is a great battle, dudes.
Side by side once again through 3 and 4. Bodine up the racetrack. Parker Kligerman on his outside. Bodine's going to be in front when they cross the stripe. Here comes Kligerman, though.
He led that lap. Parker Kligerman grabbed the lead from Bodine.
Bodine was running second. Now he's taking the spot away from Kligerman. Up the racetrack goes the 3 of Ty Dillon.
He almost took his teammate Kevin Harvick with him.
Still in there.
Ty got loose, had to chase it up the hill, made contact with Harvick. Harvick saved it.
Great racing.
Use all the racetrack.
Great battle. We saw Ty Dillon. He was giving it all he had to try to clear Kevin Harvick. They made contact, and Kevin got away.
Just heard his dad, that was Mike Dillon, say, use all the racetrack.
Side by side with Buescher right now. That's the 6th spot right there.
Good recovery, darn it.
Watch his contact here. See Ty get loose, chase it up the hill. See he makes contact with Harvick, and a nice save by Harvick.
Woo. Very impressive.
I couldn't say recovery because I didn't think they were gonna. I mean, that is so close to a crash. And not only did he save his truck, he was able to rebound and keep the 6th spot.
Kevin Harvick has not been able to do much with Parker Kligerman. Oh, caution out again. And
this
guess
one
what?
For rain. So the caution comes out for the 9th time. Rain continues.
Crap, there is no rain.
Rain continues to be a problem.
There will be.
with just 57 laps to go. The caution car comes back out onto the racetrack. Todd Bodine, your race leader. Parker Kligerman running second. Harvick, Nelson Piquet Jr., Cale Gale, your top 5. Ty Dillon back in 6. James Buescher is 7th. Matt Crafton, Timothy Peters, and Justin Lofton, your top 10.
Team Onion.
You know what's amazing is as dominant as Kevin Harvick's truck has been this race. He just talked about in dirty air back here. He had clean air just about the entire race, guys. In dirty air, he didn't think he may have enough to win this race.
So you'd have to think almost the key to Ty Bodine getting this position to grab the win was a spin down in turn 3 and 4. Spin and win, Ray.
Unbelievable.
Hey guys, just to update, the truck that Todd Bodine is driving today is the one that they used at Martinsville earlier this year. But he just got on the radio with his crew chief, Rick Gay, and Rick said, you need to use this truck up if we have to. The rain will be here in the next 10 laps, so give me all you got. If we go back to green, make them qualifying laps, because when this next rain comes, it's going to be all done. So do whatever you can to keep the lead.
Not only do you have to be a crew chief, but you've got to be a meteorologist as well.
I'm going to give Todd a shout. See what he says.
Give it a try.
All right. Hey, Todd Bodine, it's Michael Waltrip up in the speed booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, Mikey.
Yes. I was hoping you would be there. Hey, what an amazing recovery from the spin. What a great job getting the lead and holding it, bud.
Yeah, we thought we had a really great Tundra in practice, and it's just not been what we thought. But, yeah, to overcome a spin, the guy's done a great job in the pits. And Rick made a little gamble call here. Hopefully Mother Nature will rain down on us, and we can get us one. But, yeah, we're doing okay. We're hanging in there.
Try to explain to the folks at home how hard it is to do what you're doing on the bottom of the racetrack. Kligerman's getting a great restart on the outside. You're able to maintain control of your truck and grab the lead away from him. How hard is that?
Yeah, it's really hard. These days, these trucks are so aerodynamically sensitive, and you know, we got a lot of side force, and it's really easy to get sucked around. And a couple times right there going through 1 and 2 on the restart, Parker had me a little sideways, but you just keep your foot in it and hope it sticks and drive through it. You know, these trucks are a lot of fun, and you know, all you got to do is give a little room, and it's fine. But it's a lot of fun out here.
Well, your motor turned off, man.
Yeah, we're a little close on fuel here. We're trying to save it. Hopefully, Mother Nature will help us out, and we'll get to be able to shut this thing off for good.
Well, good luck, bud. It's been fun to watch. Great job, and we'll see you in a bit.
All right, Mikey. Thank you.
Free coming, 10 back.
So they're thinking about conserving fuel. 55 laps remain in this race. We're under caution once again, this time for rain. Two-time series champion Todd Bodine in front of the field. We continue to roll around the Monster Mile under a yellow flag condition. It was for light rain, and they have not determined if we are going back to green yet. It looks as though
it was like Todd doubling up maybe, or Todd shutting the engine down and Parker just keeping his momentum and driving up the outside.
How cool are the truck races on speed? We just talked to the athlete leading this race.
In the middle of the race.
In the middle of the race, and he's working on saving enough fuel
while he's talking.
While he's talking to us. That's how close speed gets you, and that's how cool these drivers are. They love the fact that speed's here to cover these races. It's great for the sport. It's great for the sponsors, and the drivers open their arms, and they want to do all they can to accommodate us, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. That was fun.
Well, to start the day off, we had Ward Burton walk in here and say thank you to us for saying kind words about his son, obviously, but right now they're telling the teams to make their way onto pit road once again. We've seen this before.
Todd's really happy right now. He was looking for a little help from Mother Nature.
So they're bringing the field back onto pit road. Again, the other factor that comes into play here is Dover doesn't have lights.
Yeah, we're racing darkness as well.
So we can't wait out a rain or potentially drying a racetrack, because once we get to approximately a half an hour from now, it'll So the pace car has stopped the field once again on pit road. The red flag has come out again. That's Kim Lopez on the flag stand. Todd Bodine in front. This would be win 22. We've had this talk already about Kevin Harvick, and Ray even asked Kevin if you were to win this, and Kevin said, wait a minute, don't count our chickens before they've hatched, and he was right.
Did I not tell you that the rain can make the most dominant truck not win? And that was the only thing that appeared could mess up Kevin Harvick's day was him not being able just to run this baby out like he hoped to. Now that he got lost his track position, you got to give a tip of the hat to Todd Bodine and Parker Kligerman. They drove so hard to keep him behind them, and if they win the race, they're going to say, well, we might have gotten this position because of the rain, because of the weather, but we had to outrun that guy, and we did.
You cannot take anything away from Todd Bodine or Parker Kligerman for the job they've done. Again, we're not done with this thing yet necessarily, but I know there's two guys probably up front. You know, and Parker Kligerman right now, he may think, hey, I've got a better truck than Todd Bodine. I've been able to keep Kevin Harvick behind me. I want to go out there and go after Todd Bodine. I'm going to have another shot at a restart here beside him and see what happens.
Todd gets a little loose, which he did on the last restart. It gives Parker that shot.
Guys, this is not a good sight if you want to continue to watch racing, because you're seeing now the spotters getting called off of the rooftop here above the suites at Dover, and the rain is beginning to fall even harder. Again,
this is amazing.
The last rain shortened race was the last race of 2011 at Homestead.
And what drama we had in that race. Johnny Sauter came into that race having to win, lead most laps, and Austin Dillon had to finish 16th, and Austin finished about 10th, but there was a time when he wasn't running in the top 16.
So this guy spins out. He's backwards with a flat tire. Kevin Harvick drives away from everybody.
The crews want it to be done. Crews are saying it's done.
Are they trying to talk our cameraman into it?
I think they're trying to talk the officials into it. The NASCAR official standing by, waiting to get word from the command center up here.
Everybody else is leaving. Todd said it's unanimous.
The flag stand has cleared out.
I'd like to go down there and get on that.
And again, what an amazing turn of events. We talked about how dominant Kevin Harvick was. He led 96 laps of the 147 that have been run. Todd Bodine's been out front for just 20 laps. Justin Lofton had a very good truck, was out front for 22 laps.
Bill, you remember back, like maybe Kansas or a couple races ago, when that team said they went testing, found something they really liked in their trucks?
Well, I think they went to Nashville, didn't they? Yeah.
And they were going to apply it to these trucks, and he's going to go. He looks like he's going to go to victory lane.
Look at his last two races: 5th at Kansas, 3rd at Charlotte, and knocking on the door, but getting a win here.
Right, and it was before that Kansas race. They said they went testing at Nashville, and the team had done some things, and Todd found a feel. He wouldn't tell us what it was, of course, but he said he found a feel he really liked. This could be his 3rd top 5 and a win. This is amazing.
Right now, he likes the feel of that rain that's coming down. We can see right in front of the scoreboard.
We're seeing that it's raining even harder. Ray, I know that you're down there. I'm sure that you're experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah, the rain is starting to pick up a little bit here, guys, but I wanted to add on what Michael was talking about. I talked with Todd earlier this week about the upcoming races. They weren't totally sure they were going to be able to make it to Dover, but they've got a brand new truck sitting there ready to go to Texas. And Todd said that what Rick Gay has done with this truck as far as aero and everything puts them as the favorite at Texas, and now it is official that Todd Bodine has won the race here in Dover, Delaware. Todd Bodine victorious for Red Horse Racing in truck number 11.
A 5th, a 3rd, and now a 1st. That makes him Hot Toddy.
Yes, it does.
He likes odd numbers.
And another win after going winless last year in the Camping World Truck Series.
Win number 22 for Todd Bodine. This one happens on a rain-shortened race at Dover International Speedway, and he's working diligently to get the helmet off, get the seat belts unstrapped so he can climb out and celebrate this win.
All right. Good job, bud.
Parker Kligerman comes up to congratulate him.
Let's go back to Ray.
Well, the Onion has officially climbed out, and this is not our standard Victory Lane celebration. Butch Hilton coming in to give him some congratulations, and a 3-time nationwide winner here at Dover. How's it feel to get a truck win finally?
Man, finally. You know, we ran so well with the Germain truck, the Germain Tundra, and we just never got there. And we didn't have the best Tundra today, but Rick made a great call. I didn't realize what he was trying to accomplish and how close we were on fuel, but it worked out. You know, you don't like to win them this way, but you know what? I've lost them this way, so I'm going to take this one, and we're going to go to the house. Red Horse Racing, all the guys at the shop, great job. This is one of the best race teams I've ever been associated with, and I'm very proud to be here.
Talk about Texas, Todd. You and I had dinner last week, and you said, can't wait to get there. You got to almost guaranteed me a win.
Well, I'm not going to guarantee you a win, but we got a really, really good Tundra going there. I've been to the wind tunnel. We know how good it is. Great Gibbs motors under the hood. When you go there like that, when you're loaded that strong with a truck and a motor, you know, you got to do well. And Rick's really got some stuff figured out on the front end that's helping me drive it better. And I'm psyched. I can't wait, especially going there after this. You know, we didn't have the best truck. You know, Kevin had the best truck, but racing isn't always about having the best truck. It's about strategy and putting yourself in the right position. And Rick Gay did that for this team.
When you spun out, what were you thinking? Any shot at winning this race?
I couldn't believe it. It gave me no hint, no sign that it was going to turn around. Rick told me on the other red flag that looked like maybe the right retired delaminated, and that's what made me spin getting in. But fortunately, we didn't get in the wall, and here we are back to Victory Lane.
A makeshift Victory Lane for the Onion. He gets a win in the Camping World Truck Series right here at Dover. And now let's hear from the guy who finished second.
Well, it looked like a relatively happy Parker Kligerman. You guys came in on lap 96, got some tires, and kept fighting your way back through the pack. You end up with a second-place finish. Your thoughts, or would you like a few more shots at Todd Bodine?
You know, I had enough shots. I didn't get it done. We got in that. We drove up to 7th or 8th, 6th, I don't know what it was, and those two guys got on each other and wrecked, and I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and got a bunch of damage on the front end. And after that, I was just kind of, you know, angry, for lack of a better word, and just drove with my hair on fire, you know, to get us back up front, and through some strategy from Doug Randolph and the guys they did an excellent job, you know, patching up the front of this Cooper Standard Ram and getting us back up there and having contention. We just we made an adjustment there on that last pit that we had, and it put the splitter in the ground. And after that, I was just really tight. So any time I got a good restart on Todd, I'd bottom out and just fly up the track. I was lucky to lead that one lap, though. That's good for points day, and that was a good points day, I think, right here. So we'll take this. This is a good second. It's a good building day. And congrats to Todd. He's taught me a lot about this series. So it's good for him.
That's Parker Kligerman. He finishes second.
How about the 5th time now? Finished second. Brad still has not been able to get to Victory Lane in a Camping World truck. This time it was a rain-shortened win for Todd Bodine. He is in the makeshift Victory Lane now. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by AC Pro. Bring back cold to your car's AC in 10 minutes or less with new AC Pro. Brought to you in part by Toyota Care, complimentary on every new Toyota. And by Camping World and Good Sam, everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, and roadside assistance. Let's go back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. After a tough day at Charlotte, Nelson Piquet rebounds and gets a top 5 at Dover. So how was your day?
I must say it was very difficult. I mean, most of the race I was quite frustrated. We were suffering quite a bit. It was a setup, you know, all the long runs. It would start off good, and we would start losing a lot of position very quickly. So I was very worried, and every time we did a pit stop, it wouldn't get much better. So at the end, you know, it was the rain coming and going. I think Chris did a perfect job in risking staying out and you know, hoping for a bit of rain and kind of doing a bit of aggressive strategy, and it worked out, you know. We had 2 or 3 short runs at the end. We always gained positions and ended up with the top 5. That was very important for us.
How about a forecast for Texas? I know you love the 1.5 miles.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have a new truck for there. Not sure how good. I mean, we're working hard on it, but I'm anxious to try these new little bits and pieces that we've been finding in the wind tunnel. So I think it's going to be a good weekend for us for sure.
Okay, congratulations. Top 5 for Nelson Piquet. Let's check back in once again with Hermie.
Well, thank you, Ray. Another driver that comes on with a really good top 5 finish is Cale Gale. You guys were all over the leaderboard today, front to the back, making your way back to the front. What was your guys' strategy, and are you guys happy with the way this thing turned out?
Yeah, we are. The way our race ended up turning out for us, got a little bit of a incident there, got trapped the lap down there, and got the lucky dog, got that back, or actually we took the wave around, and praying for rain there at the end. We come in and we were getting enough cautions where it might have worked out to where we would have made it, but it would have been close. Ream Chevrolet was really good. I want to thank everybody at Eddie Sharp Racing and Jerry Baxter for working on my truck hard this year, and finally got a result. We have something to show for it. We're proud of it.
That's Cale Gale. He comes on with a top 5.
Thanks, Harvey. Take a look at the unofficial results from today's rain-shortened race. 147 laps are all we got in of the 200 scheduled because of Mother Nature.
They look a lot different at the finish than they did at the first red flag.
They certainly did. Todd Bodine was hoping for a little help from Mother Nature and got it.
At that first red flag, Todd Bodine was 12th when that first red flag came out, and he ends up the winner of this race.
So him being 12th was key, and Kevin Harvick was first, and he was third. So those were the two biggest beneficiaries or sufferers from that red flag.
How about Miguel Paluda was running second, came down pit road, I guess maybe thought that this thing was going to go the distance. Unfortunately, it cost him a number of positions, ends up 12th.
Continuing on through the field, Ron Hornaday, 27th. A very tough finish for the 4-time champion.
He was 4th at the first red flag, so dramatic difference for his race as well.
The Lucas Oil 200 is complete. It is officially over after 147 laps. Todd Bodine, your winner from Dover.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series heads to the Lone Star State as they visit the Texas Motor Speedway. Last year, after a black flag took Johnny Sauter out of the lead, Ron Hornaday grabbed the checker and his third Charlie One-Horse. This year, Sauter will be gunning for redemption and a Charlie One-Horse of his own. Can he get it done? Chris Devoto hosts the setup starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.
The other variable that will be mixed in, the 6-time winner at Texas Motor Speedway, Todd Bodine, now has momentum after winning here. The Lucas Oil 200 presented by AC Pro. Let's go back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, they made the right call because it is officially raining quite hard now. And I'm curious if you've ever heard that saying, Justin Lofton, they knew you were here today. Does that give you any kind of consolidation about your day-to-day?
You know, it's really tough. The College Complete Chevy Silverado was really, really fast. And, it's really unfortunate how we played the rain game, I guess you can say, is trying to determine when it was going to rain on the track. And unfortunately, we were like 2 laps past the window, so we had to pit on that last caution. Had an air hose break on us on the rear carrier or rear changer, and it slowed us up. We lost some track position. Track position's so big right now. There's so many good trucks here. And, it's tough to kind of stomach that, but then again, every race so far in the top 10, we're either tied with the points lead or still in the points lead, so it's not that bad of a day for us.
Well, the word I was looking for was consolation, not consolidation, but a consolation prize also goes to the 3 truck, and Hermie's standing by with Ty.
Well, Ty, kind of a strange race to say the least. You guys were up towards the front. You lost some track position. It really shows how much that clean air means for you guys. End up with a 6th place finish.
Yeah, that was the big thing, was track position. That put a lot of cars that weren't very fast up front, and then if you lost spots due to track position, your car went really bad. So luckily it played into our hand there. I thought we were going to get a 3rd or 4th. Me and Harvick got into each other just a little bit. It was just hard racing. That's Dover. These trucks are so tough to run side by side so fast and in the throttle so much. So just happy for Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet, Tag Heuer, just everybody that helps out on our car. It was a good finish. It wasn't looking good the first rain delay for us, and the Lord helped us out and postponed it a little bit for us and got us a decent finish.
And some more news, you get to make your Nationwide Series debut at Dover tomorrow. Had a little practice today. How much are you looking forward to that?
I'm super excited. The experience that I had today is going to help me a lot tomorrow. I'm definitely going to tighten my Nationwide car up a lot more. We're just too to the free side to race in traffic here, so learned a lot for tomorrow, and just excited. And I think we broke a record for the truck series on most top 10. So hands up to my guys, awesome team, and I'm excited. We're getting some momentum rolling here with the series and with our team, and the good finishes are going to start coming and rolling with us, and we're going to go make a run for that championship.
That's Ty Dillon. He's got double duty this weekend.
Yeah, Hermie, and also record setter Ty Dillon. He now is the best starting rookie as far as finishes go for the start of a season. Ricky Hendrick, back in 2001, started off the year going 5 consecutive races where he had top 10 finishes, and now with this finish by Ty Dillon, he's made it 6 consecutive races of top 10 finishes. So a record-setting performance today by Ty Dillon.
And what about the finish today? Now we have 6, 7, 8 guys that are, say the top 7 for sure, that all closed in on our point lead. So things are getting dramatic.
Yeah, we've got 5 right now within 22 points as we look at our Ford unofficial point standings.
Ron Hornaday, a very difficult day, 49 points back.
Bit of a jump for Todd Bodine, up to 6, now only 37 points out.
Joey Coulter holding in the top 10. It's 57 back.
So an amazing turn of events taking place for not only Kevin Harvick, but also Todd Bodine. A red flag midway through this race. We thought that it might end with Kevin Harvick in victory lane. He was the dominant truck. When they decided to go back out, the green flag flew. It was Todd Bodine who was out in front, and he was able to hold on until the second red flag came out. And Todd Bodine gets credit for the win at Dover International Speedway. Now it's time for trackside.